Have you ever wondered if there's really a difference between sublimation kitchen towels from Michaels and Hobby Lobby? I know I have. I picked up 3 different kitchen towels to put to the test today. 1 from Michaels and 2 from Hobby Lobby. And the big question is, which one will give the best sublimation results? We're doing a true side-by-side comparison today using the exact same design, sublimation paper, and heat press setting on all 3 towels. The only variable are the blanks themselves. So let's see which one comes out on top. Hey everyone, it's Colorado Lean. Welcome back to the craft room. Before we turn on our heat press, let's talk a little bit about each of these towels. Now, as you can see right away, there is a subtle color difference. This waffle weave towel from Hobby Lobby is definitely not as bright white as the smooth towel and the Michaels towel. So that alone could make a difference depending on the design that you want to use. Let's start off by talking about the Hobby Lobby waffle weave kitchen towel. Now, according to the tag, this cost me $1.99. So price-wise, that's good. It is 18 inches by 28 inches, and it is 100% polyester. Now, there are no instructions for sublimating this time and temperature-wise, which for me is always a downfall of the Sublimation Blanks products. As I mentioned before, this is not a bright white color. It's more of an off-white color. So that would need to be taken into consideration. And it's very stiff. I wonder if this will loosen up any after washing. And it seems like most polyester items, it is pretty thin. You can clearly see that tag right through. Now this does have a waffle weave texture on it, but I think by the looks of this, to me it looks like it would snag really easily. Of course, I don't know. I've never used these before. But that is something to also potentially take into consideration. And then we have the smooth kitchen towel, also from Sublimation Blanks and Hobby Lobby. It too is $1.99. The size for this one is 17.875 inches by 27.625 inches. And it is also 100% polyester. This also feels really stiff. It kind of reminds me of a linen napkin that has been pressed. And again, it is not quite as see-through as the other Hobby Lobby towel, but you can still kind of see the tag in there. But it is bright white. So that will be good for any design that you choose. And then we have the Sublimation Waffle Towel from Make Market, Michaels. And this towel feels nicer. It is not as stiff. It kind of feels like it would actually pick up water. It would actually dry something. According to the back of the packaging, this is 16 inches by 24 inches. And it is 89% bioconstitute fiber. Bioconstituent fiber. I have no idea what that means. However, the mix of this is 85% polyester and 15% nylon. And then the rest of the makeup of this towel is 11% polyester. So it is definitely a polyester and nylon blend. This does have heating instructions to it. So that's nice. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Again, this is a waffle weave. It is a smaller waffle weave. And then I will just take the same Hobby Lobby label so we can see. And you can tell there's something underneath it, but it's kind of hard. And looking on my little iPad over there, I can't see any distinguishable colors like I could with the other two towels. For my image today, I have printed out this beautiful sunflower bouquet. This is one of the images from the Sunflower Watercolor Clip Art Bundle from Creative Fabrica, and I will go ahead and list that down below for you. I did upload this image into Word, and I sized it to about 5 3/4 of an inch wide by 7 inches tall. And I printed the image with my Epson SureColor F170 sublimation printer onto A-Sub sublimation paper. Now, to make sure that I don't get straight lines from my paper, I am going to go ahead and rip around my design. Now, I want to be careful not to get close to the actual image, but I also want to make sure that I'm feathering the paper. And I will show you what I mean with that in just a moment. Let me bring this a little bit closer and get that in focus. And I think you can see how I have feathered the edge, not only around the edge, but also from the coating that is on top of the sublimation paper to the backing paper. And when you do that, number one, you don't have that straight line that could press into your fabric. But it also gets you a whole lot closer to your image so you can line it up better. And before I press any of my other images, I will rip around them as well. As I mentioned earlier, the Make Market towel is the only towel that came with any kind of time and temperature suggestions. And they suggest 374 degrees for 60 seconds and not to exceed 400 degrees. Now, I've done a little bit of research online, and of course, everyone has different times and temperatures. But I think what I'm going to try is the 400 degrees for the 60 seconds, and we'll see how that turns out. Now, when I move over to the heat press, I'm not going to talk about each and every towel that I'm going to be doing. I think that would be repetitive and rather boring. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what I'm going to be doing, starting with a 10-second preheat for all 3 towels to remove any moistures and wrinkles. And then I am going to use my lint roller to clean off any lint that might be on there. I will add the image with heat-resistant tape, and then I will press each one for 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Now, after I press, I will be removing the sublimation paper. And again, I'm going to use the lint roller to fluff the fibers back up. And then when I get done with all 3 towels, I will come back here and we will see the results. We are back at the craft desk and the results are in. The first towel I did was the smooth kitchen towel from Hobby Lobby. And while it's sublimated fairly well, there is still a lot of color left behind on the sublimation paper. This image could definitely have been a little bit darker, and if it had been, I believe the fine lines from the towel might not be quite as noticeable. Now, that may not come across quite so well here on camera, but I will have close-up photos over on the corresponding blog post so you can get a much better look at all 3 of the towels. The second towel is the Sublimation Blanks Waffle Weave Kitchen Towel, also from Hobby Lobby. Now, it is pretty, but it also left quite a bit of ink behind on the sublimation paper. And as you can see, the waffle texture is a lot more noticeable in the finished design. Now, compared to the first towel, the overall image has a warmer, more yellowish tone because of the towel's off-white color. In this design, that works really well, but again, it could affect other images depending on the colors that you're using. And our winner today is the Make Market Waffle Weave Kitchen Towel from Michaels. The colors are bright, vibrant, and they transferred beautifully. This towel pulled most of the color from the A-Sub sublimation paper, and the finished image is noticeably richer than the other 2. The only place I can really see the waffle texture affecting the design is in the center of the flowers, and that's only because I'm actively looking for it. Since I had a second Make Market towel on hand, I decided to test an all-over design as well. I downloaded the Watercolor Autumn Butterfly Clip Art set from Creative Fabrica and selected 15 of the beautiful butterflies. I sized them down to about 2 inches each in Microsoft Word, and then I did a little bit of fussy cutting before taping everything in place. Now, to cover the entire towel, I sublimated 1/2 first and then the second half. But rather than having all the butterflies facing the same direction, I rotated the design for the second half. This way, no matter which side is hanging over your oven handle, the butterflies are always right side up. This was a really interesting side-by-side comparison. When I bought these, I had high hopes for all 3 because they're made from high count polyester fabric. It was very interesting to see just how differently they performed. With the Hobby Lobby towels, I do wonder if increasing the pressing time would help transfer more of the color. I do not want to increase the temperature beyond 400 degrees because I don't want to risk scorching the fabric. I also don't think it's a pressing issue. Not only do I have the original pressing pad that came with my HTV Ron Auto Heat Press, but I also added a silicone pressing pad underneath. Even at around $2 each for the Hobby Lobby towels, it's just not worth it to me to run this test again. Speaking of price, I don't think I mentioned before how much the Michaels towels cost. They are $8.99 for a 2-pack, which works out to about $4.50 per towel. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you sublimated kitchen towels before? If you have, I'd love to hear about your experience. And if you haven't, is this something you'd like to try? Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and would like to help support smaller creators, YouTube has a feature called Hype that can help more people discover videos just like this one. If you see the Hype option available, I'd really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for spending some creative time with me today. If you enjoyed this project, I'd love it if you gave the video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next tutorial. I'll see you soon.